do you want asked you?
Ask me why I use the guitar or something.
Yes. Miss J. Hunter Dunn, Miss J. Hunter Dunn, furnished and burnished by Aldershot sun. What strenuous singles we played after tea, we in the tournament, you against me.
Hold it, please. We've got a bit again, sir.
Oh, what a great pity.
This is the weather. Yes, yes. I'll give you a very definite cue, sir, and we'll go. We've had a little difficulty in the telephone.
A little technical hitch.
It comes most to the I will produce a mistake, find mistakes. Yes. Nice and quiet, please. Keep it quiet.
Miss J. Hunter Dunn, Miss J. Hunter Dunn, furnished and burnished by Aldershot sun. What strenuous singles we played after tea, we in the tournament, you against me. Love 30, love 40, oh, weakness of joy, the speed of a swallow, the grace of a boy. With carefulest carelessness gaily you won. I am weak from your loveliness, Joan Hunter Dunn. Her father's euonymus shines as we walk and swing past the summer house buried in talk, and cool the veranda that welcomes us in to the 6 o'clock news and a lime juice and gin. The scent of the conifers, sound of the bath, the view from my bedroom of moss-dappled path as I struggle with double-end evening tie, for we dance at the golf club, my Victor and I. The hillman is waiting, the lights in the hall, the pictures of Egypt are bright on the wall. My sweet, I am standing beside the oak stair, and there on the landings the light on your hair. By roads not adopted, by woodlanded ways, she drove to the club in the late summer haze, into 9 o'clock Camberley, heavy with bells and mushroomy, pine-woody evergreen smells. Miss Joan Hunter Dunn, Miss Joan Hunter Dunn, I can hear from the car park the dance has begun. Oh, full Surrey twilight, importunate band, oh, strongly adorable tennis girl's hand. Around us are Rovers and Austins afar, above us the intimate roof of the car. And here on my right is the girl of my choice, with the tilt of her nose and the chime of her voice and the scent of her wrap and the words never said, and the ominous, ominous dancing ahead. We sat in the car park till 20 to 1, and now I'm engaged to Miss Joan Hunter Dunn.
A glimpse from the flickering screen of a boy and his bird in the stalls, not cuddling and kissing right at the back, but slumped in the front row, sharing a basket of fruit, sucking an orange with casual pleasure, then munching an apple and punching his bird with warm understanding and a tender lack of any accepted traditions. A long-haired, idle, unbound boy and a glorious carefree maiden slumped in the front row of the stalls, content with the mumbling harmony of their own idea of love.
I suppose it's meant to seem that you and I are very different in our reaction to love. I don't know whether it is, but just tell me this, why do you have a guitar?
Well, that started right from the beginning, really, when my first book came out. I met a rock and roll group now famous called The Shadows, and we got talking about poetry in general. And then I showed them the book, Jiving to Gyp, and they liked it, and they said, well, let's do some of these to music. I think it happened really because the poems being about teenagers, teenage music just kind of fitted in. And now, I think it's brought me to a wider audience than it would otherwise have done so. But anyway, do you like the guitar?
Yes, I think that I suppose it can also conveys atmosphere. Yes.
In this particular poem it does, as it is about the cinema, and you're meant to see Indians on the screen, something
Yes.
like that, with this atmosphere. But as you say, these poems are about love. What inspired you to write your particular poem? It seems a bit sarcastic in a way to me, is it?
No,
It's-
no. No, it was inspired by a smashing-looking girl who looks rather like our producer, who you can't see, sort of burnished complexion, and I moved, you know, by physical looks. It's very direct stuff. There's nothing, no arrière-pensée, if I may coin a phrase.
Well, yes. Please coin it, but, what does it mean? Now, getting away from that, my own poem also has got this tone, I think, but it's not sarcasm so much as sort of sympathy. I write a poem as though I'm outside the particular subject. Now, what inspires you to write a poem normally? Is it a beautiful girl? Is it a wonderful scene? Is it a feeling that you must write a poem?
The last, I expect. Isn't that so with you? A line, generally,
Yes.
occurs to me, and then I build something round it. I'm very interested in getting a rhyme. I'm interested in rhythms, too. Now, that's what interests me about you. How interested are you in rhythms?
On the natural rhythms, tremendously so. Colloquial rhythms. I heard a phrase in a coffee bar. A boy said, "You used to work on the buildings, but the sun come out, and well, so did we." Well, this is a poem in itself, so I added a few more verses. Colloquial rhythms. Rhyme, I'm not so sure about. I find at times it makes a poem rather lethargic, no drive behind it. Now, here's a point. Myself, I find that I'm disregarded by a lot of poets of my own generation. Do you find this is so with you? Because you're, say, more a lyrical poet, and other poets of your generation, say, are deeper poets? You see what I'm getting at? We're both outsiders in this, aren't we?
Oh, yes, I would say I was very much an outsider, yes.
How did you begin writing poetry?
Always knew I wanted to, and always preferred nursery rhymes to prose, and always... Did you?
No. I became a poet by accident, really.
How was that?
In my jazz club days, about 4 years ago, I used to go along to the jazz club, see people jiving.
Yes.
And this was wonderful. I wanted to write about it.
Yes.
And poetry just came out as the natural result. I hated poetry at school.
Oh, you did, yes, I can understand that. Can you sing in tune?
Well, no, I'm tone deaf.
Nor can I.
Oh, well. Do you find that travel would help a poet?
Not for me, because I like where I am. I like what's intimate and what I'm used to all my life. I find when I go abroad, there's so much to see, I get influenza. And when I'm at home and with familiar things, and I know what I'm talking about, I'm comfortable and can do it. But
Yes.
it's the reverse with you, is it?
It is. At the moment, I'm wondering about calling myself a poet. Although I've been living off indirectly poetry for about 2 years. This year, most of my time's been taken up with travelling for journalists, for sort of journalism, and I don't like doing that. Now I'm beginning to feel that, as a poet, I should just concentrate on writing poetry. How did you begin when your first book was published? Did you actually live off the proceeds of this book? Private income? or
Lord,
what?
no. Good heavens, no. And I had no private income.
No.
No, I had to do other things, distasteful things.
Such as?
Well, it wasn't particularly distasteful. I became a schoolmaster. And really, in order to make... I never thought I would make my living by poetry, and the fact that I've sold now is just a wonderful lucky chance. I think that if you're a poet, it's like if you can play the piano or something. You needn't necessarily make your living by it. If it's your vocation, you've got to do it.
When did things really start moving for you?
Very lately.
Just lately?
I suppose in the last 5 or 6 years. I've been slowly increasing my poems, I suppose.
Yes.
In sales, they might have done. I don't mind about that. Do you? I mind it's whether it's done to one's satisfaction. It's what you really mean, and that you're writing from your heart.
Well, sales really gratify one, don't they? If I find that, my books aren't selling, I begin to wonder why. I like to promote them.
I think you're right. Do you know, I don't think it's any good trying to write for a very few.
That's definitely so. Poetry, unfortunately, is thought to be unpopular. Well, I'm convinced that it isn't.
No, no,
Do you agree?
I quite agree with you. And all the people that you know, and lots of people that I know, who would hate the word poetry, probably know yards and yards of popular songs by heart, the words.
It is. I'm, you might be interested in this, I'm likely to do a one-man show at the Mermaid Theatre of Poetry and Music.
Yes.
'Cause I feel that with some poems, some of my poems, and I should imagine some of yours, music fits very nicely. Say that particular one that you read.
I don't know. I don't know. I always think the words are music enough. Should be. I'm not sure, though. It's a debatable point.
Yes, you're looking rather agitated. Are we being wound up or anything yet?
We were being.
I see.
Go
well,
on.
I must tell you, as I said, I have travelled a bit, and when I was in Russia recently, I gave a poetry reading there, the invitation of the young poet, Yevtushenko, is the
Yes.
kind of teenager's idol there. I
Yes.
went along wondering what on earth was going to happen. And he read a few poems, asked me onto the stage, and I read my poem, and at the end of the evening, the audience, about 200 of them, just came towards us. They were throwing things. Well, they were throwing flowers, which was lucky, and we were rushed out, hustled out, signed autographs, the sort of reception a rock and roll singer gets in this country. I wonder, how much...
Ah, wouldn't that be marvellous? Yes,
Yes,
we live happily ever after.
Indeed we would.